In this video, I am going to discuss about how to kill our decision fatigue. And as a knowledge worker or as a high ambitious, high performance people, we have to always dwelling between the moment to moment decision, whether it's a very little or a very cheap decision or very big decision or intermediate decisions, because and we have to deal with, we cannot escape from making decision or having choice, because the moment by moment as the day we start our day, as soon as we wake up, we start choosing and fostering what we are going to do, what I have to do, whom to talk, where to went. And if it's in the our planning, then it will become easier and conserve our energy as well. And the first thing, imagine if you have a mobile which has very less battery, and how can we perform any little task over that drained energy or the less energy. In the same time, to clear out or the kill the decision fatigue, we have to make our sleep the topmost priority. And if we are not getting enough sleep, scientifically it is different for people, and sleep psychology or the sleep cycle or the our circadian cycles of the body. If you know, that is better. If you don't know, just check it out on the sleep cycle or the circadian cycle of our body. We can get what is the optimal sleep level. But holistically, I can say that there is a bare minimum of sleep we require, that is a 7 to 8 hours of deep sleep, out of which, and if we have a very deep sleep, that is 3 to 4 hours. If we get the deep sleep without even waking up or any kind of jerk in that sleep, where our brain is going under the process of recharging, resorting, and gaining back to optimal performance level of our brain. Second thing is that no matter what we are eating food, or what is the way of taking our food, in which manner we are taking food. Lot of people have a different lifestyle, have a different job, or different kind of working cycle, or in the different domains of our their professions. But if we are, the most thing is, if we are speaking the breakfast, or there is a huge time gap between our food, then this will also going to affect our brain's energy and optimal performance, which where the decision fatigue is taking place. So in initial way, if you are speaking the breakfast, healthy breakfast, then it will become so much of it will give us negative impact on our energy level and day to day working aspects of our life. And I am also, many of the time, I am skipping the breakfast, but now I am very intentional to taking food and avoiding sugars, and like reducing the quantity of having tea from office to from home, and gathering with the friends. Everything is making a minor impact in a longer run, and it is exponentially, combinedly, it is going to make our body very lethal and prone to the sugar prone illness, or in the diseases, if we are not taking charge of that. And there is certain age, like if we are near to 40 or the above 40, initially we are not aware of that. Initially we are not even know that there is a seed of some kind of illness is getting inside our body. But getting aware on the first instance, it will reduce all the uh, dangerous impact of that white sugar, we can say that. And ruthlessly prioritize the one thing. There is, no matter we are dealing with lot of juggling with a lot of activities and task or the projects in our day to day life. If we are working in the office, we are tackling lot of projects or the work, or the our obligation or the response based on the responsibility. And the same time, we also juggling between our making balance of our personal life, or our entrepreneurial life, or the we are try to build something up from over from, or chasing our ideal job, or chasing for our new business, or the side hustle business. So this will create the complexity to take a decisions, and we overwhelmed by all this juggling aspects. So how can we settle down all these things? For that to happen, we have to become very very ruthless about very very few important, most important stuff that is going to make our going to make the needle moving task, we can say that, and that must be in the one. And when we are on the high energy, or when we are in the optimal state of energy, at that time we must finish all these things. But it is because distraction is always there, you willingly or not willingly, controlling or not controlling, but we are living in a high paced or the high demand digital digital world, where we have to flip in between the moment to moment, and we cannot even predict something tangible based on that ongoing work or the ongoing activities in our day to day life. And fourth thing is that find a routine or cultivate the routine for particular activity or task, because our mind is always on working on his optimal conditioning or the optimal hardwired thing. Because anything, if it's build up pathway of the neural network, and it will build up through the routines, then automatically it will intriguing us or signaling us to behave or to do in same manner. And if we always struggling or trying to do anything at the any time in the any place, then the environment changes or the places changes or the our surrounding is get changed, the routine is not going to build in our body, and there is a lack of system bridge. And once it feels once it make the system and bridge in our brain, and accordingly we will work according to that cycle or that part, and that will conserve the energy of our brain, and that energy we can use for our making our good choices and the healthy decisions for our growth and uh, our life. And using the 2 minute rule, which is this is the very very important and very crucial concept developed by James Clears, like that we must use the 2 minute rule. If a decision will take less than 2 to 2 minutes, then we must immediately take on that, we immediately act on that, so that it will not store in our brain to act something later, and we delaying or postponing, and sometimes it is keep from our mind, because our mind is always preoccupied with the thousands of things, and it has the ability to filter all these things. But sometime when the bandwidth is very limited, where energy is very limited, and we always try to figuring out something, at that time sometimes important things is also get skipped from our mind, and we become very very overwhelmed or the anxious or the worried, because out of nowhere we are just thinking about I have to call this person, but something is arise in between this moment, and though that calling is very very important for your important work, and we missed that, it means that though if we just immediately pick up the phone and call that person, it get only 30 to 40 seconds. But if we are putting off or we postponed it or we delayed, then it will totally go on from our mind, and the importance of that call is reduced by the level. And taking the strategical break. Nowadays we are, as a knowledge worker, we are working on the computer, in the desktop, or in the every time we most of the time we are sitting on the computer if our job is like that. And as a knowledge worker, we are mostly working on the desktop, or we can say that we are the desktop worker, where we have to do certain thing based on our skills, knowledge, expertise, or our degree, or what we are builded for ourselves, and which is moving us our career. And all these things are require the desktop or the software or the technology or the systems and tools, and all these things are always and there. And so our life is become more of the sedentary lifestyle, and whenever sedentary is there, our body is likely to be made for the movement. If it's get rest, the active organs or the organs are getting less activated, and this will creates at the many pains or the aches in our our soldiers, in our necks, in our joints, everything is going to happen. So strategically, consciously, or deliberately, we can set aside, even no matter what, if it is a 2 minutes of break, And certainly I have observed that whenever I'm working on the desktop, if the position is not well and it is slightly inclined or slightly bending like that, then having a stretch or having the movement in between those movement is very important to restore and come back again onto the whatever we are working. And having the clear filters from clear filters with the immediate work or the immediate task, because we believe or not believe, we either we choosing something or either we leaving something at the same time. So we have to set the filter based on our the level of the urgency, level of the priority, and level of the important, and level of the care, why we care or why we it matter me to most. And if we caught it or if we caught behind the distractions, then it is not going to move our needle for our desired outcome or the desired goal. So this is the few things which we must we can say that it is a decision making checklist which is going to reduce the decision fatigue, our overwhelmingness, our anxiety, our stressful age, like that. And if we following all this through in a strategic manner, in a deliberate manner, then definitely it is going to help us to conserve our energy in our brain and in our mind, which is going to help us make a better choice, do provide choosing the healthier decisions, so that we can get our result fastest without even getting lost in the vicious cycle of proneness to the stress or the anxiety or the depressions or like that. Because simultaneously in the moment by moment it is piling up in our brain, and if we are not relieving or we are not releasing it, it is going to pile and hold up the space in our brain, and sometime it is not going to help when it is required the most in a very critical condition, and we become like a dumb. So this is the decision checklist, and which will going to help us to kill the decision fatigue.